Hey guys, welcome to the video.
Today we are going to be sharing 20 of our favorite marriage tips in honor of Valentine's Day 2020. If you didn't know, we've been together for over 15 years and married for almost 13. That's a pretty long time.
It is a long time. I thought I was 14.
Yeah, we got married in 2006. No, you're right. We are going on 14 years. I was wrong. I did the math just now. 13 years was last year. We're going on 14 this year.
So I was right.
Yes, you were. Good job, Ben.
Bad thing that, see, I'm bad at math.
We wanted to make this video as fun as possible, so some of these tips are going to be serious and some of them not so serious.
We'll let you decide which one's which.
One of the things that I've noticed a lot of people do is before they get married, they assume the intentions of their partner are always good. And then after they get married, they assume that their intentions are inherently bad. So what this means is, say that your spouse does something that hurts your feelings. We might have a tendency to assume they did it on purpose and assign blame that way. Instead, try and take a step back and assume that they didn't know what they did was going to hurt you. Generally speaking, our partners don't try to hurt us on purpose, but we have a tendency to assume that they are.
A lot of the time on the guy's aspect, it's a subconscious thing that they didn't even realize they did.
Right. And I think that's on both ends. A lot of times we're not purposely trying to hurt the other person. We might have just been in our own head worrying about what we needed to do or our own things going on at work or whatever. And we're not thinking about that what we're doing could potentially be hurtful.
Never put the laundry in the laundry basket because your wife might forget that she's needed.
Number 3, always be honest. One of the foundational pieces to a great marriage is trust. And lying about even little things starts to deteriorate that trust. It's not a road you want to go down.
Definitely not.
Be sure to give your husband plenty of opportunity to practice his mind reading skills. If there's something you want, be sure not to say it. Thanks, Ben.
You're welcome. Number 5, always make time for each other. Eventually the kids are gonna all grow up and they're gonna move out and it's just gonna be you and your best friend. Make sure you make spending time together a priority. It could be small things as kids go to bed and you make dinner and you just have a nice meal together, or watching a show, or a little card and roses. But constantly keep your spouse in the forethought of your mind and keep the relationship thriving. When you're on your way home from work, make sure to call your wife and ask her what's for dinner, just in case she forgot. Hey babe, what's for dinner?
Number 7, forgive easily. Anyone you're close to is gonna hurt you at some time in some way. There are no perfect marriages because there are no perfect people. So don't allow anger to fester. It can become poisonous and start to rot the
Whole relationship.
whole relationship. It's bad.
When you're home and your wife's running around frantically doing housework, be sure to help out by providing moral support. Doing a great job, babe.
Don't expect your spouse to change who they are after you get married. I see people do this, and I think we all have a tendency to take things that are essentially core personality traits. So say you marry somebody who's an introvert, they've never really been into going out, but you maybe are more extroverted, so later on that really annoys you, when it's not very fair to expect that person to change a major part of who they are just to suit your mood. This can also happen with people who maybe marry somebody who's really quiet, and then later on they don't like that. They want the person to talk to them a lot more. Or maybe it's somebody who's a storyteller and they tell really elaborate stories. I don't know anyone like that.
Me neither.
Later on, maybe you want them to get to the point faster, but that's not who that person is. They like telling elaborate stories
Really
and giving
frustrating.
all of the details.
Who cares if the flower was purple?
Oh, I want it.
Number 10, remember that marriage is a partnership. And one of the main benefits is getting to use your secret weapon. Hey kids, can you be quiet?
Give it. Come on.
Hey, I said to quiet down.
Yay. Give it.
Hear that?
Be quiet!
I love that thundering dad voice. Be sacrificial. When you were dating, you most likely were happy to do things that your partner likes, regardless of if they were your favorite things to do or not. You enjoyed them.
Like tennis.
Yeah, you enjoyed them just because you were doing something together. We have a tendency to forget how important that is when we get married, and become a little bit more selfish and only want to do the things we want to do, make sure to maintain that willingness to give.
Or explore.
Or explore.
What were you thinking of?
So I am a total basic when it comes to food.
I wouldn't use that word at all. But she's basic when it comes to food. She doesn't like...
Crazy basic.
She likes hamburgers and french fries. So you take her to like a really expensive steakhouse and you're like, hey, they have all this stuff. Order something. And she's like, I'll take a hamburger with french fries. And you're like, what?
He's super adventurous with food. So he's constantly like, try this, it's good, try this, it's good. And probably like 75% of the time, I'm like, it's not good.
Like the beef jerky she bought me just recently for Valentine's Day. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's different. It's pretty good. Here, try a piece. And I had a big chunk, but I'm thinking she's gonna take it like a nibble. And she took like a grain of salt off of it. And was like, yeah, not my thing. I'm like, how could you even taste it?
I knew before I tried it, I wouldn't like it. It wasn't something I would like. It's something he would like, which is why I bought it for him. I only took even my little grain of rice taste because it would make him happy.
Yes.
See? Sacrifice.
We're working baby steps. Getting there on the exploration. Always let your wife know that you love her, even in the most inopportune times. Love you, baby.
Seriously?
Absolutely. 13, don't badmouth each other. Don't do it in front of your kids, your family members. Remember that people around you will see your spouse the way you portray them. So it's very important that you speak of them in good manner.
Yeah, this point is pretty vital. I see people do this all the time, and I think all of us can be guilty. He's super good about this one. He almost never talks badly about me. But I think especially women, we have a tendency to want to vent to other people, but the danger there is if you do that too often, you create an environment where other people look at your spouse poorly, and it's quite disrespectful to your husband to do that, and it can break the trust that you have as a couple. So definitely try and stay away from bad-mouthing your spouse.
When you badmouth them, it's usually at a moment that they did something that frustrated you, so then you're venting about it. When in reality, like, the whole picture is not there, so the people around you are only hearing that one particular part at that one section of the day, and it wasn't the whole day or even the whole part, but all they heard was, wow, so-and-so said something to his wife or her husband, and I can't believe you would never say that to me, or you know, however that goes.
And I think that it could be noted that people are good at living up to whatever expectations you have of them. If you speak highly of your spouse all the time, that they're fantastic, they help out, they do all these things, then they're going to want to live up to that. If you speak negatively about them, then they're kind of like, eh.
They already think I'm a total jerk or whatever.
Whatever, so what the heck's the point of trying? Remember, men can barely drive on their own. Be sure to take your job as navigator very seriously. Let them know about red lights, if they're encroaching on the car in front of them, if they're going too fast. Oh, babe!
What?
There was a butterfly in the road. You almost hit it.
Are you serious?
15. Start discussions gently. Conversations about disagreements can go terribly wrong or perfectly right, largely dependent on how the subject is approached.
And the tone that is used. You can automatically put a person on the defensive, or you can enter into the conversation that invites open dialogue. I know for me, whether it determines whether it's going to be an argument or a conversation is largely on how she brings it about. If she comes really sharp, I immediately jump on the defense. And the times that she opens the dialogue with, hey, we need, I have something I want to talk about, we enter into that conversation more on what feels like mutual ground instead of me automatically putting a wall up and being like, whoa, wait a second.
Yeah, I agree.
Your wife might send you a list for the grocery store, but that's more like basic guidelines of what she wants you to pick up. Hey babe, what's up?
Hey, there's a couple things we need at the store. I sent you a list.
Okay, I got you, babe. Milk, eggs, and cereal. Alright. I bet she makes cookies too. Can't have breakfast without coffee. Hey, babe.
Hey, are you still at the store?
Yeah, I'm almost done.
You're just getting what's on the list, right?
Yeah. fine, buddy. Everybody needs steak.
17, express appreciation often. We all like to feel like our efforts are recognized and appreciated. So be generous with your thank yous and words of affirmation.
And that kind of goes back to number 13, where your spouse will live up to the expectations that you set forth. So a lot of praise and appreciation lets them know that you recognize what they did and makes them want to continue or do better.
Yep, I totally agree. People who feel appreciated are much more likely to go above and beyond.
Yeah.
Remember, ladies, a little strategically placed care never hurt anybody, and it helps remind them to think of you during the day. Love you, babe.
I'll see you later. Babe, I'm home. How is she not bald yet?
Number 19, don't tear each other down. Like Thumper's dad said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Don't go comatose and not say anything. Take time and be thoughtful with your words. Know that they count. There is power in them. I can't stress it enough that once you say something, whether you mean it, you don't mean it, or you're just trying to be mean, no matter how much you apologize, you can never take that word back, and it will always be there. So if you slipped up and you said something like that, make sure that your spouse knows that you are sorry, and then from that point on, make sure that you don't ever do it again.
Right, this is super important because while you can be forgiven for saying something out of anger, if you say something specifically to hurt another person just because you're angry, they're always going to remember those harsh words you said just in an effort to hurt them.
When the accidental wind happens, just remind your wife. Studies show that your partner's gas in small increments can help make their life longer. Love you, babe.
Wow.
There's probably the chair in here. I had the ringer off, so try again. Still love you. That was too quick, I'm still trying to get it on. Try it again. I don't have my glasses on, I can't see. Number 5. This is your special moment right now, babe. Yeah. Now I rewatch this. It's a one-cut slice and dice. Good morning and welcome to the vlog. It's not fun? That's it. Welcome to a different kind of video. On today's broadcast, I don't know, I was shooting this morning, there was a